Could be March 1st. Could be February 7th. I don't care. Hey kiddo, welcome back to my place. Glad you joined me today because we're talking about why New Year's resolutions don't work out. I think it's like 43% of people by the time February rolls around have quit their New Year's resolutions. Definitely some reasons for that. We're going to get into that today. We're going to talk about why New Year's resolutions are so hard to keep and what we can do differently to actually make them sustainable. So first thing I'm going to do is make a little protein matcha smoothie. I got vanilla protein. It's Nuri, 30 grams, and I don't think there's any sugar in there. I think it's like stevia. It likes to explode everywhere. Yep, perfect. We love that. All right, so I'm gonna pour it into my Ninja, get it in there, add some matcha powder. Just put it on in there. There we go. We're gonna do some frozen strawberries, plop those right in there, about a cup's worth. And then I'm gonna go blend this shit up. Hang on one sec. Now I'm gonna blend this shit up. Open her on up. Got my little aesthetic tumbler here. Pour it on in. Looks disgusting. Tastes really good, promise. Now we're going to put in a little funfetti straw. Silicone because we're not trying to break a glass straw and die over it. Yes, that'll do it, like Mama Cookie says. Picture it. January 1st, 2026, or really any other year, it doesn't really matter. You're feeling fresh. We're feeling this is going to be my year. I'm going to get my shit together. We're going to figure out all the things that we need to do to improve, or at least a few of them. And we're going to set New Year's resolutions and stick with them this time. Cool. So now it's February 1st and we're not doing those anymore for whatever reason. Well, today I want to talk about a couple different reasons, actually three reasons why New Year's resolutions do not stick. So as an almost 20-year veteran in construction project management, one of my most important jobs is to properly plan what's going to happen in the future. Another one of my most important jobs is to be able to not only catalyze, but also control and affect positive change. One thing that's really important to note is resolutions are intended to be something that causes positive change in your life. So if there's something you're not liking how it's going, or it's not serving you well, or whatever it is, you craft a resolution and you figure, okay, this year I'm going to fix this issue, or I'm going to improve something, or I'm going to do whatever I can to make something better. And so my New Year's resolution, because I don't feel healthy, is to lose weight, or my New Year's resolution is to read to my kid more, or my New Year's resolution is to get a job that I enjoy more than what I currently have, or to save money, or to pay off debt, or whatever all the typical things are that we want to improve upon. The first of the three main reasons why a New Year's resolution doesn't stick is we made a goal, but we did not make a plan. It's really important that whenever we make a goal, something that we want to achieve, which is an end result, which is a destination, that we have a plan for how we're actually going to get there. Where are we right now? Where are we starting? How are we going to actually arrive at the goal, the result, the actual achievement? If you're going to take a road trip and you're going to start at your house and you're going to end at whatever destination is your goal to end at, let's say Disney World, the most important thing that you can do is set your GPS to actually know how you're going to go from the first place you're starting to the destination where you want to arrive. That GPS is not only going to give you the plan or the route or the roadmap, if you will, to get to where you want to go, but even more importantly, it's going to give you the opportunity to course correct if you make a wrong turn. It's going to show you where you went wrong. It's going to tell you, okay, we're going to reroute, we're going to recalculate. You made a wrong turn. And it tells you 4 or 5 times, this turn's coming up in 1 mile, in half a mile, in a quarter mile, in 1,000 feet, turn right. Well, sometimes for whatever reason, lots of different reasons, we don't turn right. Maybe we turn left. Maybe we kept going straight. Somebody in the car was distracting you, or you were jamming out to your favorite song and you just missed it, or you were on the phone and you just missed it, and that's okay. It happened. But that GPS being in place, that roadmap having been planned out to a T by a satellite that knows exactly where you are in space, that is what's going to get you back on the route when we screw up. So if we make a mistake, or if we need to be rerouted and course correct back to where we need to be to get to our destination, that's not possible without actually having a plan. So you know you want to get to Walt Disney World. From where I live, I have to drive east, but there might be people who maybe where they live is in Miami and they have to drive north. So if they drove east, it's going to get them to the ocean, which is cool, but it's not going to get them to their destination. What we first have to recognize is a goal or an end result without a plan and a step-by-step roadmap for how to get there is usually not going to be achieved except for by dumb luck, and life just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Some people are lucky, but I don't think anybody's quite that lucky. So what's the difference between a goal and a plan exactly? So a goal, or the resolution that we made to arrive at a different place than where we are now, is just that. It's somewhere else you want to be compared to where you are now, or something else you want to do compared to what you're doing now, or another person that you want to become compared to who you are now. And that's a wonderful thing. It's goals and resolutions are a wonderful thing to have. They are what helps you improve. They are what gets you to the life you want to be living. But a plan is what you're actually going to do to get there. A plan is a set itinerary. It's a time frame. It's possibly a budget. Understanding what are the things that have to be done? What are the steps that I have to take? Not just where I want to go, but how do I actually get there? So your resolution is the what, the plan is the how. What are the mechanisms? What are the tools you need? What are the resources that you need? What is the knowledge that you need in order to get from where you are to where you want to be? So the plan is basically the bridge from the side of the river that you're on now, which is whatever you're not happy with, to get to the other side of the river, which is where you want to be, ideally, when you've achieved your resolution, made permanent changes to your life that improve things for you. So let's take an example. I want to lose 50 pounds. That's a resolution. Great. Okay. So we know just from living, from pop culture, from experience, whatever, that in order to lose weight, we need to have a decent diet. We need to eat our fruit and vegetables, keep the carbs down, whatever it might be. Whatever works for your body, you figure that out. And we also need to probably exercise, or we need to be in a calorie deficit, or whatever it is that you think is going to get you where you need to go. There's got to be some kind of change. So let's say that I want to lose 50 pounds. I know for me, I need to cut back on carbohydrates just because I need to control my blood sugar. And I know that hormonally, it's going to help me out a lot, right? Well, I also know that I need to go to the gym. I need to walk around the block. I need to do whatever it takes to become more active and burn more calories and get my metabolism going. But that doesn't mean that just because I understand some of what I need to do to get there, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen, because it's not detailed enough. So if I say, okay, in order to get to Disney World, I need to drive east from my house, that might not actually get me to Disney World. It's not enough detail. Okay. It's not a step-by-step plan. It doesn't take into consideration the things that I'll need to do in detail to get where I want to go. So heading east out of my driveway might actually not get me to where I need to go to get to Disney World. So just exercising sounds great. Just dieting, that sounds great. We can do that. We can do that all day. That's easy. But what are the things that are going to get in the way of me being able to achieve that goal? So for me, instead of just saying, well, I'm going to go to the gym, I need to know how many times a week I'm going to go to the gym. I need to know what I'm going to do once I get there. I need to know how to recover from going to the gym. If I work out too hard, sore muscles, is that going to keep me from wanting to go again? What are the downsides of all this, and how can I plan for the things that are going to potentially throw me off course? Also, I have limitations in my personal life that don't necessarily allow me to go to the gym all the time. So I have a hectic work schedule. I'm a single mom of a little boy, so I can only go to the gym when he's at school or if I have a babysitter, that type of thing. So in order to keep my resolution of losing weight, I need to be able to make a plan for how I'm going to actually go to the gym. The times of the day that I have to go to the gym are during my lunch break. If I drop him off early at school at before care, I can go to the gym for 10 o'clock, 10 minutes after 7, work out for about 45 minutes, run home and take a shower, and then start my workday on time. That would allow me to go to the gym as many times during the week as I need to while he's at school. When can I possibly go on the weekends? Probably can't. So I either need to find a gym that has childcare, because I don't currently have that, or I'm going to have to figure out ways to get movement in while my kid is with me. So that might mean a little yoga practice after he goes to bed at night or before he wakes up in the morning. That might mean that he and I go on a bike ride or a walk together. We go find a lake and walk around it, something like that. But we have to get creative in terms of how we're actually going to do it. So not just that I need to exercise, but how am I going to do it with the limitations that I currently have in my life and with the resources that I currently have available to me. So that seems like a lot of thought, which it is, to make a resolution come true. That's the only way to do it. I can't just say, oh, I need to exercise more. I have to know how I'm going to actually do that. Let's also talk about the diet part of things, right? So let's just say, for an example, again, I need to lose weight, so I'm going to change my diet. A lot of the things that throw me off course is I get busy, I didn't meal prep, I didn't grocery shop, I didn't get the ingredients that I need for what I wanted to make that week, or I didn't plan anything to cook. So now suddenly it's Tuesday night, I've had a long day at work, the kiddo's tired and he's in a bad mood and nobody wants to mess around with cooking, so we go through the drive-thru. Okay. That's not really going to help me. First of all, it's expensive. We all know that. Second, it's most likely not going to be something that will allow me to stay on some kind of a healthy eating program. There's possibility, yes. But when I'm in the middle of the drive-through and they're asking me what I want to order and the kids yelling out things and I'm stressed out, most likely I'm not making the best decision I can make. I know that this is going to come up sometimes. So what I'm going to do is, number one, I'm going to meal prep. I'm going to figure out what I want to cook for the week and what's going to fit into my program, whatever it might be, way of eating, lifestyle, what's going to fit into my lifestyle as a busy person who doesn't just have all day to think about cooking. I'm going to get the ingredients that I need at the grocery store on Sunday. I'm going to meal prep for the remainder of the week. I'm going to have those meals readily available to heat up and eat or bring with me to work or whatever I'm going to do. And then I know for a fact that my life is not going to allow me to cook or really want to eat the meal prep for 7 days a week for 3 meals a day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of the restaurants, drive-thrus, or fast food or whatever that have options that will work for me. And I'm going to keep that list readily available so that when it's time to go through a drive-thru, I know exactly what I'm going to order. Whether I'm in the mood for it or not, I don't have to think about it. It's that decision fatigue that gets in the way of being able to make good choices when you're already kind of stretched thin, you're already tired, you're already emotional, you're already stressed out, whatever it might be. That is not the time to put yourself in a position where you have to figure out what the next move is going to be. You need to already have it figured out because it's going to keep you on track. These are the things that you have to recognize. What is going to get in my way that's going to throw me off course, that's going to ruin my ability to achieve my goal, and let me remove those barriers. But without making a plan for how you're going to get from where you are to where you want to be, you don't even know when the barriers really popped up. And you're definitely not going to be in the mindset at the point in time where you're stressed out or where whatever happens that's causing a roadblock for you. That's not the time to make a plan right then and there. You need to already have the plan in place. Number two, the second reason why most of us fail is we do not have a good enough reason why we're trying to do it. There's a lot of different things that a lot of stereotypical goals that people make. Like I just said, the example of losing weight, most of us want to do that. Or if we don't have weight to lose, maybe we want to build muscle, maybe we want to just be in better shape, we want to be healthier in general. We have some types of goals that have to do with physical health, usually have some types of goals that have to do with money or financial health. Sometimes maybe it's spiritual, maybe it's, mental health, but we're trying to improve our life in some kind of way. And those are kind of the big categories of things that people usually want to improve on or make some type of positive change. Without a big enough why, without a big enough reason, without a big enough motivator, without a big enough cost for you by not doing it, the opportunity cost, it's not going to stick. The thing is that change is a difficult thing for most people. Not only can it be physically difficult to make changes in your life, but it can be very mentally taxing on people as well. A lot of people are afraid of change. Personally, I'm exhilarated by it. I love change, but I also know that it does take a lot out of me, even though it's something that I look forward to. It is tiring. And it does mean that you have to do things a lot differently in order to not only enact the change, but also to sustain the change. You can't keep doing what you've been doing to get a different result. Doesn't work like that. So you have to do things differently than what you're used to doing. So it's kind of uncharted territory that we're looking at, and that scares a lot of people. So the why behind your New Year's resolution or any goal that you're making has to be very important to you. You have to be able to see into the future and visualize and picture what your life looks like once you've achieved that goal, or see into the future on what your life looks like if you never do achieve that. And that's a heavy thing to have to do, because taking a look in the mirror and realizing what's not working for you, especially if it's your fault, and I'm talking to myself too. I'm not just saying you, me too. But if there's something not working in your life, there's a reason why you have figured out that it's not working, and it's probably causing you some kind of problem. And if you continue to let that problem fester, the future could be more difficult than your current situation is. And that's a scary thing to think about. So your why has to be very well defined. The reason behind why you're doing what you're doing has to be extremely important to you. You need to visualize in high definition what your life looks like if you achieve that goal, and conversely, what your life could look like if you don't achieve that goal and if you never make the changes. If I'm trying to lose weight to look good in a bikini, no one really cares. But if I think about losing weight so that I don't die of a heart attack, and leave my kid an orphan or end up with diabetes. That's the type of thing where it's so important to see the big picture and not just the tunnel vision view. That's why it's so important. You have to be able to see the big picture of how things could turn out for you, whether it's for the best or not for the best. And so if you're looking to make a change, there's some type of a different position you want to be in sometime in the future. Is it a big enough difference to make you want to stick with a difficult challenge for the long haul? So for me, looking good on the beach is not nearly as important as being there to see my grandkids be born. That's a huge deal to me. I want to be there for that. So I need to start taking care of myself, because the decisions I'm making today are going to affect me and my loved ones and my future. So understanding the reasoning behind why you want to make a change and ensuring that it goes deep enough for you to really live by it is so important. So if you have frivolous reasons to make a change, don't bother, because it's not going to last. So far, we've talked about making sure that we have a plan in place to reach our goals. What is the step-by-step way to get from where you are to where you want to be? Then we talked about how important it is to have a very, very serious reason why you want to make a positive change. And the last thing that I want to bring up today is how important it is to develop goals and resolutions that are you coded. And by that, what I mean is, does it fit you? Does it fit the life that you have already started to live? Does it fit who you want to be in the future? Are your goals, if you were to achieve them, congruent with who you are and what you want out of your life? A lot of times whenever we make resolutions or any kind of goal, it's because of what somebody else would like to see us do. Have you ever had a friend reach out and go, hey, I need to start going to the gym. You want to be my accountability partner? You'll go to the gym with me? And you start to feel like that's something as a good friend that you should agree to do. But if you really don't give a crap and you really rather spend your time and resources and energy doing something else, it ain't going to last. You know, that person has a reason why they want to go to the gym, but it wasn't your idea. Your gut didn't push you to do that. It's probably not going to last, right? So you have a very finite amount of time in your day and in your week and in your months and in your whole life to do the things that matter to you. So you have to prioritize how you use your time. If someone else, whether that's pressure from your parents or your family, your boss, your friends, if somebody else aside from you is the reason why you chose to do a goal, except for your children. Your children aren't coming to you saying, Mom, can you please lose weight so you can be there for me when I have kids? I'm saying I want to be there for my grandkids to be born and see how life turns out. That's still me deciding what my goal is going to be, not my kid pushing me to do it. So we're looking for things that we want to accomplish that get us further along in the life that we are meant to live, that we want to live. If someone else has pushed you to make a goal that they think you should achieve, that they think would better your life, it's most likely not going to turn out. You're most likely not going to achieve it because, again, it goes back to the why. The why belongs to somebody else. If it's actually their goal, but they want you to make it come true, it's not going to happen. You have to live what you choose to achieve. You have to do it every day. So if it's not something that you can see clearly as a goal that is going to improve your life or your kids' lives or whoever you basically are living for aside from yourself, if it's not going to improve things greatly and it was someone else's idea and you don't feel ownership over it, don't do it. Find something that you'd rather spend your time doing to improve and get you to a place where you want to be in the future. It's really hard to achieve goals overall. I mean, goals are small, big, short-term, long-term. They really vary. But when it comes to a resolution or when it comes to a major life goal, or when it comes to ending a problem or improving an issue or whatever it might be, or looking out for your future self, it does take work. It is challenging. And it's not something that you're going to be able to stick with because it takes so much of your resources and energy. It's not something you're going to be able to stick with if it was someone else's idea and if you don't fully embody that goal. Once again, your goals, your resolutions need to be you coded. If you have found yourself here in February 2026 realizing that you have fallen short on what your resolutions were, I'd love to know what was the root cause. I feel like it's probably one of these three things. You didn't make a good enough plan, or you didn't even know that you really needed one. Reach out. Let me know how I can help you to craft a plan to get where you want to go, but make sure that you have details in that plan. Make sure that you have a plan for how to remove the barriers, not only doing the things that get you further, but it's getting rid of the things that hold you back as well. Then you have to be sure, you have to be 100% sure that the goal is going to be something that is going to further you and you can see exactly how it's going to change your life. So we really need a strong why behind what we're doing. And then lastly, we want to be 100% sure that our goals are going to benefit us, that they're going to benefit our closest loved ones, and that they're going to be a true positive change that we can sustain, and that they're actually in line with the life that we want to be living, and that they're not influenced by someone else who doesn't actually have to live life and walk in our shoes. So with all that said, I'm so glad you came by for us to chat today. I really hope that this is helpful for you to figure out what's going to work for you, and see if maybe you want to reignite the flame inside you to meet those goals and meet those resolutions, or maybe even make some new ones, because whoever said it had to be January 1st? Could be March 1st. Could be February 7th. I don't care. If you want to make a change in your life, you are more than capable of doing that starting today. Just figure out the plan, figure out what the steps are, and make sure you can see yourself achieving that goal in high definition. Not just a little bit, all of it. Feel what your life will be like once you've achieved the goal, and it will help get you there. Bye, kiddo.